Let me start with a question. What is the one thing right now, the one thing you keep thinking about, but you keep delaying? That decision, that step, that action you know you need to take, but you don't. Why? Because it's hard, because it's uncomfortable, because somewhere inside your mind, there's a voice saying, not today, maybe later. You're not ready yet. And let me tell you something, honestly, that voice, it will destroy your dreams if you keep listening to it. You see, your brain is not your enemy, but it is not your leader either. Your brain is designed for survival, not success. It wants safety. It wants certainty. It wants comfort. But growth demands discomfort. Expansion demands pressure. Transformation demands that you step into the unknown again and again and again and again. So if you are waiting to feel ready, you will wait forever. No one ever feels ready. The difference between people who change their lives and people who stay stuck is simple. One group forces themselves to act. The other group waits. And waiting is dangerous because waiting turns into doubt. Doubt turns into fear. And fear turns into a life you never wanted. Now listen carefully. This is not just about success, money, or goals. This is about your identity, who you are becoming. Because every time you avoid something hard, you train your brain to believe, I can't handle this. But every time you face something hard, you send a different message. I am stronger than this. And that changes everything. Now I want to talk about something deeper, something that is rarely understood correctly, feminine energy. Because if you are a woman listening to this, you have been misunderstood your entire life. Society told you that being emotional is weakness, that being sensitive is a problem, that being soft means you are not strong, that being soft means you are not strong. And that is one of the biggest lies ever told. Let me tell you the truth. Your emotions are not your weakness. They are your depth. They are your awareness. They are your ability to feel what others cannot. A woman can walk into a room and feel the energy without a single word being spoken. She can sense tension. She can sense truth. She can sense intention. That is power. That is intelligence beyond logic. But here's where it gets complicated. If you don't learn to guide that emotional depth, it can overwhelm you. It can control your decisions. It can create hesitation. It can make you overthink everything. So the goal is not to suppress your emotions. The goal is to master them. Let me say that again. You don't become powerful by becoming cold. You become powerful by becoming centered, because true strength is not about shutting down how you feel. It's about feeling everything and still moving forward. There will be days when your heart feels heavy, days when your confidence disappears, days when your mind tells you you're not good enough, you're not ready. Who do you think you are? And in those moments, you must decide. Will you listen to that voice or will you rise above it? Because that voice will sound convincing. It will feel real, but it is not truth. It is fear. And fear only has power if you obey it. This is why doing hard things is so important, because hard things break that pattern. Hard things rewire your brain. Hard things show you that you are not who you thought you were. Let me give you a powerful truth. Every time you do something difficult, you expand your identity. You stop being someone who hesitates and you become someone who acts. You stop being someone who doubts and you become someone who trusts yourself. And self-trust is one of the most powerful things you can ever build. Because when you trust yourself, you don't need approval. You don't need validation. You don't need validation. You don't need permission. You move. Now let's talk about discipline, because people misunderstand discipline too. They think discipline is strict, harsh, masculine. No, discipline is self-respect. When you say you're going to do something and you actually do it, that is discipline. When you don't feel like it, but you do it anyway, that is discipline. When your emotions are pulling you in one direction, but your purpose pulls you in another, and you choose purpose, that is discipline. And when a woman combines discipline with her emotional intelligence, she becomes unstoppable, because now she is not controlled by her feelings. She is guided by them, but led by her decisions. That is power, quiet power, graceful power, unshakable power. Now let's talk about something real, procrastination. You think you're lazy? No, you're avoiding discomfort. You're avoiding something that feels uncertain, something that might challenge your identity, something that might expose your fear. So your brain protects you. It distracts you. It delays you. It convinces you to wait. But every time you wait, you make it harder, because avoidance strengthens fear. Action weakens it. So what do? You stop negotiating with your mind. You don't ask yourself, do I feel like it? You ask yourself, is this necessary for my growth? And if the answer is yes, You do it immediately, not perfectly, not confidently, but intentionally, because action creates clarity, not the other way around. Now I want you to imagine something. Imagine a version of you who does not hesitate, who does not overthink every step, who does not shrink in moments of fear. That version of you already exists. She is not someone you become in the future. She is someone you meet through action. Every hard thing you do brings you closer to her. Every uncomfortable decision introduces you to her. Every moment you choose courage over comfort, you step into her identity. Now let's go even deeper, because there is something incredibly powerful about feminine strength. It is not loud. It is not aggressive. It is not forceful. It is calm. It is grounded. It is certain. A powerful woman does not need to prove herself. She does not need to announce her strength. You feel it. You feel it in the way she walks, the way she speaks, the way she holds her energy. And that kind of presence comes from inner work. From facing hard things comes from inner work, from facing hard things, from building resilience. Because resilience is not built in comfort, it is built in challenge. Every time life tests you, you have two options, break or build. And the difference is not talent, it is not luck, it is choice. You choose to rise or you choose to retreat. Let me give you a line you should never forget. Your comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing grows there. If you want growth, you must step out again and again, even when it's scary, even when it's uncertain, even when you feel like you might fail, because failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of it. And every time you fail, you gain something, experience, wisdom, strength, but only if you don't quit. Now let's talk about emotional resilience, because this is where you truly rise. Life will challenge you. It will break your expectations. It will test your patience. It will push you beyond what you thought you could handle. But here's the truth. You are stronger than you think. You have survived things that once felt impossible. You have faced moments that you thought would break you, and you're still here. That is proof. Proof of your strength, proof of your resilience, proof of your resilience, proof of your power. So the next time your mind says, this is too much, you respond with, I've handled worse. The next time fear says, you can't do this, you say, watch me. The next time doubt whispers, what if you fail? You say, what if I grow? This is how you reprogram your mind, through repetition, through action, through courage. And courage is not the absence of fear, it is movement despite it. You don't need to eliminate fear, you need to outgrow it. Now let's bring everything together. You have emotional depth, you have intuition, you have strength, but none of it matters if you don't act. Potential means nothing without execution. So you must train your brain, you must challenge your limits, you must force yourself to do the things you don't feel like doing, because that is where your next level is. Not in comfort, not in ease, not in waiting, but in action. Let me leave you with something powerful. There is a version of you who is confident, who is disciplined, who is unstoppable. She does not wait for the perfect moment. She creates it. She does not fear hard things. She uses them. She does not shrink under pressure. She rises through it. And that version of you is not far away. She is one decision away, one action away, one moment of courage away. So today you make that decision. You stop waiting, you stop doubting, you stop holding yourself back, and you step forward. Even if your hands shake, even if your voice trembles, even if your heart races, you move anyway, because that is who you are becoming. And remember this, you are not here to live a comfortable life. You are here to live a powerful one. So go out there and do the hard things, especially the ones that scare you, because that is where your true power lives. And once you step into it, there is no going back. Now go and prove it to yourself.